So, what are you expecting from Michigan State? They've had a bunch of turnovers the last couple games, and Izzo's been on them. Do you think that anything is going to change when they get it down here?
Well, first of all, I know Tom Izzo very well and for a very long time. And he's one of the premier coaches in the country, Hall of Fame coach. He always has his teams very well prepared no matter who they play, no matter where they play. And the areas he feels his team needs to focus on to improve, he's going to have them improving. We're not a team that forces a lot of turnovers, so it's not going to be all of a sudden we're emphasizing to our team that we need to force a bunch of turnovers on Wednesday. No, we need to continue to work at the areas that are most important for our success. That is defensive conversion, defense on 2-point shots and 3-point shots, and defensive rebounding.
Is a game against a top 20 team this early in the season something you like or something you prefer for later on?
No, I think you have to play a non-conference schedule that is challenging. We want to play teams that are going to be competing for the NCAA tournament because we're trying to earn our way into the tournament. And you don't do that just in league play. You have to do it in the non-conference as well as conference. The Big Ten ACC Challenge has been a big part of the non-conference schedule for all our conference teams for many years. And we're excited about playing with Michigan State because of the status that they hold in the college basketball ranks.
And what I mean is, would you rather have waited a few more games and maybe perceived lesser opponents just to be more ready, or are you happy with this point of the season having a team like this come in? Not that you shouldn't schedule them,
I think we worked very hard on putting together a non-conference schedule that works for us, and we knew when this date was going to be long before we scheduled any other games, so it comes at the right time because we knew it was going to come at this time.
Do you feel the energy even among the coaches, even in yourself, when you have Michigan State is the next game, Tom Izzo, all this stuff, national attention, ESPN, blah, blah, blah. Do you feel even in you and in your coaches and obviously the players that there's a different energy level already 2 days before? Not that you don't take all the games seriously, but you know what I mean.
We haven't practiced yet today. We didn't practice yesterday, so we'll see. But I hope and expect that they'll approach every practice in a very positive vein and work to be the best that they can be that day. I know they're excited about playing in the ACC Big Ten Challenge. We lost last year at Purdue, and I thought played fairly well for a while, but we need to play a whole lot better this year.
How did you feel Durant Scott played in his first game?
I thought he was terrific. 15 points, handled the ball very well, rebounded, defended. I thought Ray McCallum's been averaging 21 points a game. He held him 6 below his average. Did a good job at both ends of the court.
Bishop Daniels didn't get in. Was a part of just the short rotation with Durant back, or was something bothering him?
No, it basically me wanted to give Durant as many minutes as he could handle. I didn't plan on playing him 37 or 38 minutes. It just happened that way.
How different was that team Saturday compared to the team that lost to Florida Gulf Coast a few weeks ago?
Well, it's the same team, but with a different mindset. Against Detroit, we got back defensively much better. I think we only gave up 4 points in conversion. They got, I think, 4 fast break points as compared to Florida Gulf Coast. Must have had like 18. Oh, that's a huge difference.
Ryan Brown has struggled this season shooting the ball, particularly from outside. Have you talked with him, or is there something he's doing wrong?
No, he got some great looks the other day. I think shooting is a little bit like putting in golf. It becomes a little bit psychological. You start thinking too much. But he shot the ball very well last week in practice. I was kind of surprised he didn't shoot better during the game.
Jim, other than the wins, what are you looking from your team for conference play? Next few weeks heading into conference play, what do you want to see from your team?
Well, we need to make a dramatic improvement defensively. Last week we played 19 possessions of zone defense for the first time since I've been here. And we're going to continue to look at that as an alternative to our man-to-man. Our man-to-man defense is still our bread and butter and be the defense we play predominantly throughout a game, but we need a change-up. And we tried to scramble a little bit earlier, and it appeared that we weren't doing that as well as I wanted to, so I'm going to hold off on that for a little while. We maybe come back to it in another few weeks, but right now the zone will be our alternate defense.
Is that for the players who haven't played zone, is that something that they can adjust to fairly easily, or is there a lot of things they have to learn?
Well, this team actually, most of the players have played a good bit of zone throughout their careers. It's the young guys, that Shane Larkin and Tanya Jakiri, who probably haven't played much zone in their careers. But actually teaching zone is a little less complicated. The challenging part, though, is to make people miss perimeter three-point shots. The other day, Detroit's center stepped outside and made a bunch of threes against us. We knew he could shoot. That was one of the reasons why we went zone, so our big men were not stretched out trying to guard him on the perimeter. But we didn't stick with the zone that long because when they start making threes, we'd much prefer to take that away with our man-to-man defense.
As a coach, you're a man-to-man guy. I mean, is it sometimes hard to switch to zone just for defenses?
Well, over the years, I would say we've played 85%, 90% man-to-man. But we've used zone, especially in certain years. This is going to be one of those years because of how big we are. We don't have a DeQuan Jones anymore. He normally gave us the opportunity to match up with a athletic forward, somebody like Doug Anderson from Detroit. But now we've got Reggie, Kenny, and Julian basically up front, and none of those guys are really perimeter defenders. They're really post defenders. And so we need to have a defense that allows them to stay close to the basket.
You were hoping, I remember before the season with Kenny, that maybe he would be able to do more of that. You were saying that was one of the reasons he dropped weight to try to. Is that not? That's still not. He's not that comfortable with that still.
I just think it's not him. Mm-hmm. It's who he's in the game with. One of the things about scrambling is you got to have a bench. You look at the first 4 games, we didn't have Durant Scott. We only had 4 perimeter players total, and one of them, Bishop Daniels, hadn't really even practiced for 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to practice what you're trying to do. We did. We tried, and then we even tried it in the games, but found, no, this is not going to work. We just don't have the speed and quickness and depth.
This game is important, obviously, on the court, but how big is it away from the court, just for building, the fan base, everything around?
Well, it impacts a lot of things. It's on national television, on ESPN, so hopefully there'll be a national audience watching. Hopefully the recruits that watch it will be impressed with the way we play. It's important for the ACC because we battle the Big Ten for bragging rights as to who the best basketball conference is in the country every year. And it's also big for future attendance. If we win Wednesday night, I think our students and fan base might get excited and turn out in larger numbers to watch us play.
Do you anticipate having a substantially bigger crowd than you've had so far this year for this game?
Well, we anticipate that there'll be more students than there have been because...
They like being on ESPN.
Well, this past weekend, they were on Thanksgiving break. Mm-hmm. They normally come out for the top-ranked opponents, And I think there's a lot of buzz on campus about this game.
With Julian on the starting lineup, was that just because Reggie was coming back, or do you like that to him starting the games?
No, I like having the flexibility to start either one of them. And maybe I'll start both of them at some point, I don't know. I just felt like they both played well. You know, Reggie did a great job, came in on the bench, played 27 minutes. Julian did a very good job as a starter, playing 13 minutes and scoring 7 points. So between the two of them, I think they had 14 points and a bunch of rebounds. So if we can get that every night, that'd be great.
And you're pleased, I'm assuming, with Kenny?
Mm-hmm.
He stepped
Played a
up.
lot more like we want him to play, caught the ball and shot it. He dribbled a little bit, but he was very much under control and very much searching for his jump shot. I was very surprised he missed a couple of those because he's a terrific shooter, and a couple of them were wide open looks that Shane Larkin hit him with.
Thanks, Coach.